Hi everyone, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm glad you guys are joining me. As far as shop updates go, I did not do any dyeing this weekend. I kind of just took some much needed time off. I do work full time outside of dyeing, and I just needed to take a breather. I'm sure everyone these days especially can really feel that need to kind of chill, and I think I was just getting kind of on the verge of a little bit of a burnout, so I took the time to relax, and that was needed, and just organizing, doing things around the house. So we're going to get right into works in progress instead. So the first work in progress, which is actually half done, which is exciting, is the Vestigial by Beata Jezik, and they are a pair of socks in my Nostalgia colorway by Multifarious Nature, and luckily I have natural light, you guys. I'm actually recording at a decent hour, so we do have some natural light. This is showing up a little bit later than it is in person. That is the nature of this color. Nostalgia is a beautiful lilac purple color. It's very light with it's a very subtle variegation or tonality. It's a tonality going on, and then there's some slight speckling throughout. It is mainly a, like I said, lilac violet colorway, but you can see the little slight speckling throughout. And then this wonderful pattern is this ribbing. It's a broken rib. It is a free pattern and has this really nice 1x1 ribbing here, and then that is extended down here with a 2x2 ribbing kind of thing. It's considered, I think, like a broken rib pattern or something. It's a new to me style pattern, but it creates this really nice stretchiness. So even though this looks rather small, it does fit snugly. It does fit snugly. I did have to adjust the pattern. The pattern calls for, I think it's 54 stitches. Let me check. I've got it in front of me here. 56 stitches. I actually usually make socks that are 64 stitches, and that fit my foot much better. So whoever designed this pattern, she probably has rather narrow or small feet, so I did have to make it larger. It has this nice ribbing across the top, and then it has a kind of unique toe. Let me see if I can show you here. It's kind of pointy looking, so we'll see how that looks actually being worn. I tried it on, and I haven't tried it on since I've done the toe, but I think it'll be fine. I mean, your foot has like a natural curve to it, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think it's going to work out nicely. I really liked working with this yarn. It is a merino nylon base that I carry, and then it has this really nice little slip stitched heel, so it has this nice reinforced heel on it. It's a really nice pattern. I haven't worn them yet, so I can't really tell you how the fit is, like long-term fit, because when you wear your socks, like the first couple times, it'll start to stretch out, and then it may not fit as well. But I'm hoping, because this is ribbed, I hope it will fit well and not like stretch out. But I also hope that this would be a good pattern to be able to make socks as gifts, because then there's more versatility to the sizing, like a little bit more of a forgiving size. But this is where it was last week, and now I finished the foot, so that was exciting. Definitely worked on this quite a bit, focused on this project immensely. This was kind of my major project I worked on, was this one. But I did just cast on the second sock. I don't want to fall into that second sock syndrome where people just, don't do the second sock. That would be really sad. So I started casting that on right away, and this is a really good project for working in the vehicle, like in the car, as a passenger, of course. But as you can see, I have plenty of yarn still on this cake. So I've already completed one whole sock, and there's this much left still. So, I mean, these are substantial cakes. There's well over 400 yards in this. So this is my fingering base. That is, I want to say, 75-25, so 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. You can see there's a little speckling in here. It's getting rather blown out, but there is some little speckling. And it's just such a beautiful colorway. This is one of my favorites, Nostalgia. And yeah, really excited. So one sock down, second sock coming soon, and very excited about that. Again, that's my Nostalgia colorway. And the next one that I'm working on, not quite as far, not quite as much progress, but I did get a little bit of work done on it. This one definitely has a slower going. It is the Slouchy Brioche Socks by Kari Sinks, and I am using my Scarecrow colorway. This is Scarecrow. It's getting a little blasted out with this natural light, but it's just so nice and bright. There we go. That's a little bit more actually realistic with the color. But it's a wonderful variegated colorway with speckling. It's super fun, and on the brioche sock, it's super fun as well. So again, a 1x1 rib. This is a 1x1 rib. I think the other one was a broken rib. And then this really fun, this is also, I believe, a free pattern. I'm pretty sure. The Slouchy Brioche Socks. And this is, I'm pretty sure it is my BFL base, so BFL nylon blend. And it's really nice. This brioche section is so nice and fluffy and squishy. You can see how much wider this looks than that last sock that I showed you. It's going to be nice and squishy, kind of like a leg warmer. That was my goal with these socks, is that the leg is going to be in the brioche, and I think there's a little bit of brioche on the top of the sock. And it's just going to be a comfy, almost like a slipper sock with this wonderful leg warmer, which will be nice. We get really pretty cold here in Michigan, so having really warm socks like this is just wonderfully ideal. And yeah, it's so fun. So many colors, lots of speckling. I know this is getting a little bit blasted out, but I really wanted to show you all this wonderful brioche goodness. I love brioche. It is so much fun. And single color brioche is really quite simple once you learn how to do it. And I feel like fun colors like this, where it has all this different speckling, all this different variegation of colors, is really fun in brioche. Because the thing about single color brioche is that the rhythm of the stitches is enjoyable, but if you actually have color that is building and moving as you're knitting, it really helps you keep going along, because it takes quite a bit to get like actual length in brioche. It is not as fast as knitting in like stockinette, for example. So, but it's so pretty. I hope you can appreciate that squish. If you have not done brioche, I cannot stress it enough. You should try. You should try brioche. And this, I think, would be a pretty good beginner pattern. However, I don't know if you've never made socks before. Enter at your own risk. But maybe make a very basic, like I said in my last video, like basic, like vanilla socks, where it's just your basic sock. Do that first and then do this one, because I am really enjoying it, and I think it's an excellent step into brioche. Even though I said this in a video, I feel like ages ago, but I actually think the best way to learn brioche is the way that I learned brioche, is two-color brioche. I feel like two-color brioche is actually easier to learn brioche versus single color. Sounds weird, I know, but if you try it, I think because of the way you do it, I think it shows the stitches better. Because there are many videos that explain how to do brioche, but there are sections in brioche where it's a yarn over with a stitch, and where that yarn over is, it's actually what visibly looks like two stitches is actually a single stitch. And if you're learning and you're doing it single color brioche, I think it's harder to see that, where if you're doing it with two different colors, it is more visibly two different stitches. I'm probably not making any sense, But yeah, if you're trying to learn brioche, try 2-color brioche. I highly recommend it. Anyway, I will move on. But those are the slouchy brioche socks. And of course, I will include links to all the patterns that I'm talking about below. A lot of them are on Ravelry, but that's just the way I find patterns. So I'm sorry if you don't use Ravelry, but yeah, really, really fun. And this is in my Scarecrow colorway. Again, my Multifarious Nature. And I do have these in the shop, and this is actually a limited run colorway. So once I run out of what I have in the shop, then I will not be refilling it, which is a bummer because this is actually a really super fun color. I kind of wish I had recorded the recipe for it. But alas, I was having fun, and this is definitely a wonderful win when it comes to experimenting. This was so much fun to make. So that is my Scarecrow colorway and the slouchy brioche socks. So my last project I've been working on is the Advent Envy shawl using Emma's Yarn Advent. This was my Christmas present this year, and I am just slowly whittling away at it, and I am so enjoying it. Especially this weekend, I needed to just do this. It's a wonderful pattern. If you are looking for an Advent pattern to use your Advent knitting on, you can use any pattern, really, to do Advent knitting. Don't be limited. However, if you're looking for very relaxing, at least so far, I am only about halfway through my Advent for Emma's Yarn, but I have to say this pattern is so nice, and doing it with an Advent, it was designed for it. So it is a paid for pattern, so I have to be careful. I don't really want to show anything, but I'll block it. But it actually gives you each day with what color you use for each day, and like the pattern section for that day. Yeah, I paid for this pattern, so I don't want to give too much away. However, there's some awesome texture going on here because of slip stitches, and it is so pretty. And if you're using yarn that is like Emma's yarn, where she did some speckling, this is going to get so blasted out because of the nature of these colors. Her colors are very vibrant and bright, as you can see. This reminds me of a mermaid tail at the bottom, and then it just slowly goes through each color. Her Advent, in a sense, was kind of a rainbow, but not a literal rainbow. However, we are going from violet, and then blues, greens, and now I am entering yellow, or just getting out of yellow, and now I'm starting to get into my oranges, and yeah, they're orange. And it's so fun, and it's a really fun one to use speckled yarn or tonal yarns, and it fades nicely because of the slip stitches from one color to the next. So it creates this amazing fade. And I'm almost to the point where there's going to be a change in the way the pattern works. So next week, maybe, I don't want to lock myself into it because I have very slowly been whittling away at this, but next week, maybe you will see how this is going to change, because it's going to shift where I'm going to stop doing this and I'm going to end up working down one of the sides. So it's going to switch it up a little bit, which is awesome and fun. And I'm excited to try that. But this portion that I've done, this huge, massive portion with a similar stitching throughout, I actually initially thought I wasn't going to care for it that much, because I sometimes get bored with patterns that are too basic and too much of the same type of stitch. I'm sure a lot of you guys run into that, where I almost like having things with a little bit of complicated stitching throughout, just to mix it up and keep me interested. But this one actually I found very nice and needed this time of year. I really need something where I can just knit and slip stitches and not have to think about it too much, do purling, very basic stitch work. So so far I definitely recommend this pattern. I will, of course, keep you posted as I keep going throughout it, but so far I have absolutely loved it. So her advent was, there were multiple bases, but the one I got was the 80-20, 80% merino, 20% nylon, all on fingering weight, which is always I love my merino nylon blends. That's what I like to dye up as well. So I was really excited that that was what I got for mine. I was a little bit involved in picking up this advent for my present, but I am so enjoying it, and I'm really excited to see where this pattern goes next. So it's a really fun pattern. So if you're looking for an advent pattern, Advent Envy by, let me get her name, I have it here, Amanda Rios. So Amanda Rios is the designer of the pattern, and I will include, of course, a link to it below. But it's a really fun pattern. I am so enjoying it. And yeah, if you're looking for Advent knitting, Advent Envy, or if you're going to go completely rogue, you can do what I did, where I took a pattern that was not designed for an Advent. This is the Shake It Up shawl by Anna Johanna, and I just made it Advent friendly by splitting up the sections with all the different colors. Just have to use your imagination, and you'll be surprised what you can do. So that's what I did, but you can do whatever you'd like. And yeah, so that is Advent Envy with Emma's yarn. Really fun, vibrant. Vibrant. Oh my word. I'm making all kinds of noise. Anyway. Yeah. I do, if you were looking for Advents, I guess I should mention, I do actually have a couple Advents available in the shop. So if you do want one, or if you want to give one as a gift, you can follow the link below and purchase them on the website if they are still available. So just a couple at the moment. So yeah, that's a really fun gift if you're looking to give a gift, with 24 20-gram minis and one 100-gram mini skein, as well as a couple goodies throughout. So that's a really fun gift, and I really enjoyed that, receiving that in Advent as a gift. And I'm sure others would as well. If any knitters in your life you're looking for a fun gift, it's a unique gift that's a lot of fun, and it gives you a bunch of yarn. My Advent is over 2,600 yards of yarn, so I really should show you guys. You know what? I'm going to just bear with me for a moment, because the Advent is remnants are over here, and I will show you what I have left. So this is what I made, right, with my Multifarious Nature Advent, this massive shawl. This is a huge shawl, okay? So I made that with my Multifarious Nature Advent, and I'm going to show you what I have left over. I'm also going to share it probably on Instagram. But hang tight for a second. I'm trying not to throw these absolutely everywhere. Here we go. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. If you're still here. Okay, so this is the full-size skein for day 25, and I still have that much left, you guys. Like, that is a huge amount. And then I have just 2 of my colors that I only have this much left because of the sections of the shawl that I was doing, but the rest are all still about half the size that they were. So I still have all of this yarn. I could easily make, like I said, a couple pairs of socks. I will show a picture of these too. I'm unwinding them now, oh dear. But I mean, you could easily make another project with all this yarn. So there is a bunch left over. So if I've had people ask me, what can I make with an Advent? It definitely depends on the Advent you purchase, but if you purchase the Multifarious Nature Advent, you do get over 2,600 yards of yarn. So you get a large amount of yarn. You could easily, as you can see, easily make like a larger garment or something. Like you could make a little shirt. I don't know about a long sleeve. You'd have to look at the yardage in the pattern, but maybe you might be able to. It just depends on the pattern, but and the size, of course, that you're creating. So you'd have to look at that. But I mean, there is a lot of yarn, and you'll have a bunch left over. So that's just to give you an idea of how much yarn that you get in the Multifarious Nature Advent, and it's a large amount of yarn, and it is an excellent deal. I do actually have it currently, just if you buy like single minis from me, it is a discounted price, so it is a great deal. If you're looking for something super fun and you want to get a bunch of new fun colors, that is an excellent way to do that. So I think that's how I'm going to leave it to this week, you guys. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter video, which I think sometimes is needed, but I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying healthy and happy, and I hope you have sunlight by you. We have beautiful blue skies today, which is so needed. It is chilly. We went on a hike yesterday with our dogs, and it was really cold. I think it was 19 degrees outside, and that's Fahrenheit. It's pretty chilly, and with the wind chill, I think it hit negative, but we were very bundled up, and I was wearing my woolies, my wonderful wool hat, which I have to show you guys again. It's a really fun hat, and it has like a little brim on it. I showed it in a prior video, so yeah, I was debating whether I should do a 2021 makes video. If you're interested in that, comment below, or if there's like a topic you'd like me to talk about, I'd love to hear your input. But 2021, if it interests you, I've seen a couple podcasters do some 2021 makes and just talk about the things that they made in 2021. I do feel like, I mean, for those of you that have followed me from the beginning, it might be redundant, but if that interests you, let me know, and I'd be happy to do that. I think it's fun to look back at the projects. I think sometimes it's fun too to just see and be like, wow, when you really focus on things and really make it a priority, you can really get a lot of knitting done. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, I would be happy to make a video like that if you guys are interested in seeing it. I might do it just for like journaling sake, like keeping track of projects I've worked on and progress. But yeah, as far as anything else, personal wise, I mean, as I said in the beginning, I was getting a little fried, I think, with just balance, trying to keep that work-life balance is always hard, especially when you have kind of a hobby business, which is currently what I have. It's very part-time. I would love to do it full-time. I would love to dye yarn full-time. That would be amazing. But that is not where I'm at right now, but it is so much fun, and I love experimenting and playing with color and the bases, everything. So that's why I'm loving these limited run colorways. So if you do hop over to multifariousnature.com, you will see that there are quite a few new colorways from the past couple weeks that are limited run, and once they are gone, they'll be gone. But they're super fun. They're unique colors compared to what I've done in the past, and just branching out and having a lot of fun. And that's why I wanted to do this in the first place. I really wanted to play with color and learn how to dye yarn when I just am enjoying knitting so much, and then working with this yarn that I've dyed up. It's so much fun, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. If you don't dye yarn, but the knitting end of things, or crochet, or just creating in general, working with new mediums, it's so much fun. So I'd love to hear what you're working on. I'd love to hear what you're creating with. It's so much fun. My sister-in-law, she likes to make cards. So for Christmas, my mother-in-law and myself joined her, and we all made Christmas cards together, which was a lot of fun. And that's something I don't do a lot, is paper crafts. And I know my sister loves to do scrapbooking too. So it was kind of like I got to get my hands in on that craft, and it was just so fun to create these cards for people. I only made so many because we only had so much time we were doing that, but it was just a lot of fun just to be creative, work that muscle, and do something different. So I am a big advocate of just trying new creative ways of doing things and creating things and being open to what's out there in the creative world. So I'd love to hear what you guys are up to and how you're doing, and how life is in your part of the world, wherever you may be at. Again, I'm in Zeeland, Michigan, so we're on the west coast of Michigan, if you want to look at it that way. And we have Lake Michigan like 20 minutes from where we live, which is awesome. But it gets chilly, and we definitely get hit with lake effect snow. And if you're not familiar with that term, it's the effect of being so close to Lake Michigan. The snow just will dump on us, literally. So there will be areas in Michigan where you get very little snow, and then there's areas where you get lake effect snow. We are in that area, and it will just be like whiteout conditions where you basically cannot be driving outside. We had a storm like that about a week ago, and it was intense. I was grateful that I could work from home, because there's just, sometimes I feel like there's just no business driving in it. There really isn't. I know a lot of people say that it's like, what, you're in Michigan, so we can do it, we can drive through it. But I don't know, I kind of feel like we're silly enough to drive in it sometimes. I don't think it's necessarily appropriate. I think that those who should be like, emergency crew and, so like fire department, police, folks like that, they should be able to do it because they have to, to get to save people and help people. But then the rest of us, crazy people, should stay off the road and out of their way so that we don't cause more chaos. But that's just my opinion about the whole thing. So anyway, yeah, that's about it. But I will leave you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. So take care.